I will pass you through to Julie. She's going to talk to you all about Lapland. Two things. One, ideally, could you keep your microphones on mute, because that would help Julie during her presentation. And the second thing, really importantly, if you press your screen at the bottom, there is a chat function where you can just type in any question. So please, 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 as Julie goes along during her presentation, please ask any questions in that. Teresa will pick all those up at the end of the presentation. So we'll have a little questions and answer session at the end, because Lapland is one of those places where there's always lots of questions about what you can see, what you can do, what happens. So please, please grab the opportunity to ask lots and lots of questions. That's what this evening's all about. So Julie, I will pass over to you.
Thanks very much, Miles. Hello, everybody. I hope you're well. I normally would say Merry Christmas, but it seems a bit weird. But then this is a weird year, isn't it? So we can say pretty much what we want, to be fair. I'm just going to share my screen, and that will just take a second to come up. So I will introduce myself while that's gonna begin. So my name's Julie, and I work for Hotel Plan, which encompasses Ingham's and Santa Breaks, and they're probably the names you know more than Hotel Plan. And we work really, really well with Miles Morgan. So they kindly asked me to come along and talk to you tonight about what is my favourite topic. And I'll only keep you 3 hours, I promise. No, I won't. It won't be any longer than about half an hour. But I'm going to talk about my favourite topic, which is all about Lapland. I don't know whether any of you've been. I can see some of you on camera at the moment, and then others I can see just names. I'm hoping this screen is going to come up in a second. Lapland to me.
Sorry, Julie,
Yeah.
Can you check everybody can hear you all right? Because it keeps coming in and out a little bit.
Or does it? Okay. Yeah. Can anybody, if anybody's got an issue hearing me, can you let me know? I'm having problems sharing the screen as well. Hang on, I'm going to start again.
It's a little bit clearer now, Julie. If it goes again, we'll let you know.
Is it? Good. Right. Bear with me, because I'm
and now your
just having one or two
at the beginning as well,
issues. So even though we did, can you actually see the screen? No, not at the minute.
It started, and as soon as you clicked it, I think it's literally gone to the last slide.
Okay. Okay. Right. I'm just going to.
That's the end of it.
Yeah, that's okay. Don't worry. I can flick through. Shut your eyes, everybody. There we go. I couldn't see anything. All I got was blank. So I was like, where's it gone? Right. Technical issue over. Hopefully you can hear me okay. If you can't, take yourselves off mute, or I will try and keep it as clear as I can. You know what Wi-Fi is like. It's not great all the time, is it? So as I say, my name's Julie, and I now work for these companies. And what we're going to do is take you on a little journey through Lapland. Those of you that haven't been, let me just describe a little bit about what Lapland is actually like. You can see this image on my screen now, and that is what Lapland is like. Now, Teresa came with us at the end of, I've lost a year, that was the end of, no, actually, it was beginning of last year, wasn't it? It was the beginning of last year, 2020. And Teresa came with us to Lapland just before the whole world locked down. So we were very lucky to get the trip in. But it really is just a magical destination. Now, I ski a lot, and I've always enjoyed the snowy mountains. But when you arrive in Lapland, it's just like nothing else. The sky, because you don't necessarily get the sun rising, the sky just has this hazy pink glow most of the time. And whether it be sunrise or sunset, in the middle, you just don't get that ball of sun in the sky. It's just that glow. The snow, the only way I can describe it is it sparkles like diamonds. It is just the most magical thing ever. And if you're going through it in the dark and all the lights are sparkling on it, it is just fantastic. You can't throw a snowball or build a snowman. Well, you probably could, because we build ice hotels, but you've got to put water with it. But if you pick up a snowball to throw at somebody, it's just dust. It just goes into like sprinkled dust, and it is just fantastic. People are really lovely. It's very flat out there where we go, so you can see for miles. Got lots of forests, lots of trees, as you can see, and obviously we've got a lot of wildlife around there. So just to set the scene, really, that it really is a winter wonderland experience. We take people between December and February. That's the times that we take people, and depending on what you want from your holiday in Lapland will very much depend on, we can organize it for you. So you can have a week in Lapland if you want to, or you could just go for 3 or 4 nights. And you've got the huskies out there. It isn't just about, and I know we are going to come onto the Santa side of things, but it isn't just about that. Can I just ask if any of you have got little ears around me, can you just message Teresa in the chat box and let me know? Just because if I start saying things and any of you have got little ears, I have to kind of adapt it slightly. So that would be great if you can let her know. Then Teresa will give me the nod. But you've got the husky rides out there. If you've never sort of driven a husky, as I hadn't done before I went to Lapland a couple of years ago, it's just fantastic. You get on these huskies, and I think Teresa, I'm pretty certain that you went and drove the huskies as well, didn't you? But you stand on these basically 2 planks of wood, and you've got the dogs that are pulling you ahead, and there's a break in the middle. It's just brilliant. And in fact, there was one video that Teresa did send me over of their group where somebody had actually fell off the back. I did laugh. I shouldn't have done, but I did laugh. There was nobody injured, so we were okay. But you've got reindeer rides. You can go out on snowmobiles. You've got the Northern Lights if you're really lucky, and I did see them when I was out there. And I think Teresa, I think you saw them as well, didn't you, when you were out there? And that's just the most magnificent sight in itself. You've also got lodges in the wilderness that you can go to. You can ski out there, and you've also got obviously the Meet Santa side. So whatever you want Lapland to be, it can be. And within the Ingham's brand, we go to 3 resorts. I'm going to take you through a little bit of Levy and then a little bit of Ulas, and Sarasalka I'm going to come on to because that's more about Santa's Lapland, which is what our different programs. So Levy is one resort we go to. It's about 20 minutes from Kitzler Airport. It's a beautiful, beautiful resort, and this is the resort that Teresa has stayed in, and as have I. And it's just a great resort with lots of different things to do. There's lots of excursions that you can do outside of it. So you can even do things like laser shooting. So if anybody's got any, young sort of adults, if you like, or you want to go off, I mean, it was great. You can go off skiing, you can go and do ice karting. They've got some great restaurants and things like that around the resort. So there's plenty to do, but it's not far from the airport. It's about a half an hour transfer. So it's not too far at all. Within Levy itself, we've got a few different hotels. Some of the ones that I've put up here, because I'm not going to sort of take you through every hotel in every detail, but we've got the Levy Spa Hotel, which is a brilliant one if people want to have that facility, maybe be there for a week or maybe be there for 4 nights and take advantage of the spa and the water world that is in that hotel. It is a lovely hotel. I think you stayed at the Design Hotel, didn't you, which is just behind the Levy. And I can see Teresa nodding, which is why I'm kind of looking at her. She's giving me the nod. So Teresa stayed at the Design Levy Hotel, and she would be able to tell you more of that on a personal level. But it's beautifully sort of a combination of modern and Lappish style hotel. It's very new. It was new out there just a year or so ago. But you can use all the spa facilities within the Levy Spa because they are literally right next door to each other. And then you've got the Crazy Reindeer, which is just a gorgeous, cozy little property, just sort of towards one end of the resort. So there is lots of other properties as well, depending on what you want. And Teresa can guide you through anything on a personal basis. Ulas is our second resort within Lapland. And this is quite different. It's very unspoiled. It's very natural. It's sort of split into 2 areas, and you can read those 2 resorts for yourself because I cannot pronounce those for love nor money, I'm afraid. Third line down if you can see them. There's a combination of hotels and self-catering cabins that you can do there. So the self-catering is great if you've got a bigger family that want to go together. There's always little supermarkets that you can get food in, and you can do it yourself, and you can all be together as a family. You can ski there again as well, and again you've got the full range of excursions, which I'm going to come on to that as we go through. And in Ulas, as I said, you've got the log cabins. It's a very typical Finnish style properties. You've got the Akas Hotel, and then you've got the log cabins, and they're all kind of linked together. So if you stay in the log cabins, then you can actually use the facilities of the hotel as well. So that's Ulas, our second resort. I've mentioned some of these already, but the pictures just bring it to life a little bit, where you've got the huskies there, you've got the snowmobiles. The snowmobiles are are brilliant. They're so much fun. They're quite heavy and they actually get lighter the faster you travel. But be very careful and make sure you take out insurance. As I found out when I took a group to Detriment, somebody didn't take insurance and they had a tiny little bump and it cost a bit of money. So, you know, for €10, it's worth it. But they are good fun, and there's all sorts of excursions you can do on those during the day where you go through the landscape and you go through the forest. And you can even do some Northern Lights excursions where you go out on the snowmobile into the forest in the dark. Now, bearing in mind, it can be dark from 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So depending on exactly when you go, it doesn't have to be the night time. But obviously, the later you go, a bit more chance you've got of seeing the Northern Lights when they come out to play. And you can go in through and you can take an adventure following a guide. And then just going into the forest and searching for the Northern Lights and such. The reindeers, you can do full excursions. Now, within our Santa Breaks packages, we include reindeer rides, but you can do longer excursions on top of them, as well as huskies, which the reindeer rides and husky rides might just be 15 minutes within the package, but you can go off and do one which is going to take you to a proper sort of area where you've got the Sami people, and they're the ones that look after and have done for years and years and years, and they are the ones that keep the herds of the reindeers, and they're just beautiful animals, and they will tell you all about them. You can go see where they sleep, etc. You can do things like snowshoeing if you're feeling really energetic and fancy doing something a little bit different. You can go off walking, and as I say, you can even go off skiing. So there's lots and lots of different things to make your experience whatever it is that you want to make it. Now, the other thing you can do to kind of really top it off, and I'm still talking about the Ingham side of things at the moment, is you can go off and stay for a night, have a really special night and stay in a luxury like igloo, glass cabin. You can stay in the Aurora cabins. There's a snow hotel. It's an ice hotel. You can even get married there. So if any of you are sitting there and haven't got married and fancy a wedding, what's more romantic than being in the snow, getting married in a nice hotel and then staying under the Northern Lights in an igloo hotel? I just think it would be amazing. I keep dropping the hints to my other half, but he's not having any of it. And but you can do things like this. And again, it's just something memorable. If you're going to Lapland, invariably it's a once in a lifetime trip because it is so magical. So, you know, why not? If you've got the time and your package permits it, have a night somewhere different and have a night somewhere special. I think you saw the ice hotel, actually, didn't you, Teresa, when you went? I was very, very jealous, and it looked amazing. I think there was even a slide in it, wasn't there? It was just, she's mouthing. I'm sure she'll tell you about it at the end, or she can come on and tell you about it when we come off. Another option for Lapland is to stay in Amwatka Wilderness Lodge. Now, this one we stay, it's just outside of our other resort, Saraselka. Saraselka is about 250 kilometres north, so it's a bit further north than Levy and Ulas. But this particular lodge is about 15 kilometres away from the resort of Saraselka. And it's literally, you are in the wilderness. So there's all sorts of things on there. They'll alert you when the aurora lights show themselves. You can do all the activities which are included, which would be search for the lights, the snowmobiling, the huskies, the reindeers. We do include on this particular one, we include your thermal clothing and boots. Now, the reason I say this particular one, if you go on a normal 7-night Ingham's holiday to Lapland, we wouldn't include the thermal boots or the thermal clothing. But on any Santa break and any short break, we always include the thermal clothing. And I'll come on to that shortly. So we include that on this because you might be there, you're going to be there for a week. You've got use of the snowshoes, just something different. Again, I would love to do this. I think this would just be fantastic. You really get into the heart of what Lapland is all about as a winter destination, not necessarily about the Santa side of things. Now, with Ingham's, we do Santa breaks, and we have 3 and 4 night holidays available here, and we fly from just 3 airports on this one. We fly from Manchester, Gatwick and Bristol. Now, this one, it includes your thermal clothing that I mentioned. So let me tell you what the thermal clothing is. You get a thermal suit, which is basically a onesie, and they are very, very warm. They're really cozy. They're sort of fleece lined. They will keep you warm. I always suggest you wear layers underneath. It can get really cold. It can get sort of minus 20, 25 degrees. Some would say it was nearly that last week, but not quite. But it can get really cold. They will also provide mittens and woolly socks, but take your own hats. I personally prefer to take my own ski gloves, but that's just a personal thing. And I also put ski socks under my woolly socks. And then the boots they provide you are super comfy, so you can be sure that you can walk around them. They're not the most flattering of outfits, but you know, they do keep you warm, and you know, you'll find a lot of people are in the same outfit as you. So just make sure you know who you're looking for, and don't go and tap somebody wrong on the shoulder. Within the package, we include a half a day at the Elves Hideaway. And basically, you're taken to the Elves Hideaway, and that is where you get the private meeting with Santa. Now, with this one, you get a private meeting for your own family, so you don't go in with other groups of people. It's just you and who you've travelled with, and you get to see him, give you letters, chat to Santa. It is just fantastic. But the other things that you can do around it, because that's a big part of it. It's not the only part of a day there. You get to make gingerbread men. You get to go into little huts and toast sausages and marshmallows on the fires. You've got like warm berry juices that you can drink. And you've got sort of little sledges that you can toboggan on. You've got reindeers there. And there's lots of different things within that pub. You do just get half a day. And the reason we do it for that is it's not a huge centre. Where you go and meet Santa, there is a cafe that you can get yourself a coffee or something warm to eat, or just a roll. You can buy yourself a little souvenir if you want to. But the reason we do that is just keep it to that, because you can then add on anything you want to. And that's what I'm saying about you create it into whatever it is you want to be. So whether it be you want to add a husky safari, or reindeers, or snowmobiling, or just spend some time in Lapland just doing it, and you can just have that as part of your day. So different things to do, and Teresa can discuss the options with you if that's what you're interested in. Now I want to take you to Santa's Lapland now. Santa's Lapland is our sister brand, and there are differences between the Santa's Lapland I'm going to talk to you about and the Santa Breaks with Ingham's that I've just described. These ones are a little bit more encompassed. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you, but then Teresa has done this fantastic video that I'm going to play at the end of it, because it actually brings it to life with the images and things. So I'm going to talk to you about the stuff in detail, but then I'm going to hand it to Teresa virtually, if you like, on a video. So as I've said, we use just one resort with Santa's Lapland, and that's Sarasalka, which we do use with Ingham's as well. But for here, it's just this one resort. Way up into that Arctic Circle. So there are some Lapland resorts which are just about in it, and they have like a green laser light which show you where the Arctic Circle line is, but we're way up north. You will get to experience just a very unspoiled small resort here. It's not huge. It is unspoiled. It has a few little gift shops around the resort, but I mean, they're really lovely. You can buy some nice little things. I think I took all my Christmas decorations down. My little husky, that's genuine from Lapland, but you can just get some beautiful Christmas decorations and things like that out there. Again, it's a short transfer. This one we fly into the airport of Ivalo. Transfers are no more than half an hour, and then we've got a choice of different hotels that you can stay in within the resort, and you've got different excursions that you can take. Now the resort itself, again, has got a ski resort. This is probably the smallest ski one. And to be honest, when you're doing a Santa's Lapland holiday, there's probably not the time to go skiing on a 2-night break. If you're doing a 3-night break, you have got a day free, so you could, but it's literally 12k or 12 kilometers of ski piste. So it's not going to keep the most adventurous of skiers occupied for a very long time. However, it's a bit of fun. What is good fun is they've got this huge toboggan run, which goes from the top of the fell, which is where our Star Arctic Hotel is, and it comes all the way down to the village. Now, I've never managed to find the time to do it myself, and I've been a couple of times. It looks fantastic. So you've got that as an option. And then you've just got, like, there's all sorts of sledges around the resort you can just take, and you can, the kids can have a great time. And if you're just going as a group of adults, they're great for carrying your beers from the supermarket. So, there's something for everybody out there as well. We generally, we fly into Kittila, and then we've got the different hotels that we've got there. So we've got the Star Arctic Hotel, which is in the north on at the top of the resort on a fell, and then we've got some hotels in the resort centre. You can do 3 or 4 day breaks. So it's 2 or 3 nights. There are, if you're really lucky, you can get free child places. There aren't any left for this December, but there are some available limited for next December. So we're on sale for 2 seasons at the moment. We're on sale for December 2021 and for December 2022, and going right the way through into early of the following years. All of our packages here will include pretty much everything that you want, and I'll tell you about the Santa Day. All your hotels will be half board, plus you will get lunch in the Arctic Circle Centre, and that's usually a very warming lunch, like a spaghetti bolognese. But if any of you are vegetarian or gluten-free, then it's catered for as well. But do please remember, this is Lapland. Their sort of cuisine isn't necessarily as extensive as we would find in some of the other countries and destinations. But we have a whole host of different activities that you will get that are included. All your transfers are included. We fly from 13 airports around the country, of which one is Bristol. And then we've also got the thermal suits, which I described earlier, all included. And we also offer a snow guarantee. Now, we did have one year a couple of years ago where the snow didn't fall, first year ever that it's ever been known, but it was very limited really early. But we do make sure that the customers, you are looked after, and we will make sure that if we cannot take you to give you the experience that you would want, we would make sure we either move to date or give you opportunities to change your holiday. So don't fear about that. If it ever happens again where there's no snow, I think I might cry. Now, what do we get included? So we have 2 different trips that we include. We have the Santa's Aurora and we have the Santa's Magic. Now, I'm going to talk to you more in depth about the Santa's Magic because that is what Teresa's video actually brings together. But just so you know the sort of the difference between the two. Within the Santa's Aurora program, there are 2 main differences. So you get a wilderness dinner on arrival, and this is where you stay at the Star Arctic Hotel, which is on the Fell. I think my next picture is that hotel. You stay on the Fell, and on your first evening, you'll go off into the wilderness and you'll get a wilderness dinner. On your last morning, you'll get a snowmobile safari and you go off down to a reindeer ride. So it's a little bit more encompassed. There's a little bit more included with those 2 trips, and you stay in that one hotel. The whole day where you spend, which is the most important day in the middle. So if you're on the 2-night break, you've got the 1 day at the Arctic Circle Centre hotel, or the Arctic Circle Centre, sorry. And it just includes everything. So literally from the time you get up, you're given a time, you'll be picked up and you're taken off to not far, it's about half an hour transfer, and you're taken off to the area where there is just lots and lots of winter fun, snow and ice activities for you to do. Now, the only thing you get given a time for is the husky ride. And the reason we do that is because the dogs that we use, they obviously have to be rested. They're used in a rotational basis, and we have to make sure that we've got the right number of people to go on to the huskies at the same time. So you and your family will be in a husky sledge, and you can choose who's going to drive the huskies, and you can even swap halfway round. You will also get a sort of a time slot of about 2 hours where you say, okay, your lunch is going to be you've got to arrive between 1 and 3, and you go and get your meal for your evening, for your lunch. But then everything else is down to you. So whether it be that you want to go into the reindeer centre and learn about those reindeers, whether it want to be that you go into the igloo, you go into a real igloo and there's a show and it's really good fun and you meet some of the elves, whether you want to go and do the reindeer sleigh ride around the lake, whether you just want to go into one of the warming huts and have that berry juice and the freshly cooked cookies and the freshly cooked pancakes, you just basically work your way around those if you're in my book. And then there is an ice bar. There's no gift shop in this particular resort, which I actually quite like, but there is an ice bar. That's the only thing you'll need to take money for. And you do need to have a bit of cash just in case the credit card machine doesn't work if it's so cold. So if you do want your hot chocolate with or without rum, with or without cream and marshmallows, or you want a small whiskey, or you just want to, whatever you want, you can just get that when you're there. And it's just really lovely, all the chairs and everything, it's just all ice and it's lovely, all the ice sculptures in there. So literally there is so many other things that you can do. You can do things like ice fishing. That's really for the little ones. However, I have seen adults have a go, and that's fun in itself. So you can do anything there. You've got ice hockey. And what's so good is if you are standing around in a queue for something, so you're waiting to get onto the Huskies, for example, there's always elves and other people around that are going to keep the kids entertained by, and there's all these songs that you'll learn, and I promise you, you will come home singing the songs. But there are songs that you can learn, and the kids are having a great time, and they don't realise that you're learning how to drive the Huskies because they're having a good time. So they haven't got to stand around when they, you know, and hear all the boring health and safety information, which is really important. And then obviously we have the big visit to the big man himself. Now, to all intents and purposes, you're getting on a skidoo and you're going through the forest and you're searching for Santa. And then you'll eventually arrive at a log cabin, and then you will go in and meet the big man. And once again, it's a private meeting. And this one, there is nobody else around you. There's no other families that you will see at the log cabin or anything else. It is really magical. And when you walk in and see Santa himself, I defy anybody to not have an open jaw, no matter how old you are, because it is just absolutely fantastic. So there's lots and lots of things that are all included within that day. Now, the Star Arctic Hotel, which is the Aurora trip, this is when I was saying to you is on a fell. And this one is where you stay, you overlook the village, you've got different rooms there. This is the main restaurant that you can see here. But then you sort of come out of the restaurant and the reception area to your rooms along here. And you've got some rooms like this, which have got the big panoramic windows and you look over the village. You've got others that have got the ceiling rooms, so that if there is like the northern lights, because you're above the light pollution, you're more likely to see them of an evening unless you've gone out to, you know, look out for them. And then you've got, when you go on the magic trip, you've got your various different types of hotels. So two of the hotels that I'm going to home in on are two of the ones that we are using within the group that we're doing with Miles Morgan, which Teresa is going to kind of, she's got all the information on that. We've got the Holiday Club and the Tenturi. Now, the Holiday Club is a really popular choice, and that's the main one where we're going to be centred at for this group. You can stay on or on any date that you want to go. It's a central village location. It's really not very far from where you get your suits and your boots, and if you want to do a snowmobile excursion, it's literally just around the corner. They've got a fantastic pool area with water slides, so it's brilliant for the kids. And so if you've been out for your day and you just want to get in that pool or a sauna or a spa or whatever, you can. Now, if you don't stay at that hotel and you stay at one of the others, you can still pay and go and use those facilities at the Holiday Club. So don't think that you haven't got the option to use that swimming pool and everything there. The Tenturi Hotel is not far. They're really close together. It's not a big resort. This is quite small. You can get around it really, really easily. Again, it's a short walk to the Holiday Club. You can also get to the cross-country trails. It's a great room. It's a great hotel with lots of different family room types, cozy bar lounge, you know, but you're not in your hotel very much at all. Most of the time you're going to be out and about experiencing what Lapland has to offer. You will be in the evening, you know, it's the first evening when you arrive on the magic trip. There isn't anything planned apart from dinner, so you can go out and have a wander around the resort, take the sledges and just go and explore. And the same with on your second night when you get back, unless you've arranged for another excursion to do, just to maximise the time when you're there. The Recolina is another one of our hotels, and then also the Saraselka Inn. The Saraselka Inn is very small, very traditional Lapland. You have your meals in the Tenturi, because again, it's just around the corner from it, but it's just a very small hotel. And then the Recolina is similar to the other two, really. These are the optional excursions that you can add on around your package. So you've got everything included that we've already said to you. But like I said on the Ingham's one, the reindeer ride and the husky rides are around about a 15-minute ride. Whereas if you want to do something a little bit longer or a little bit bigger, you can organise that. And Teresa can help you organise that around the package that's already included. And she'll be able to give you a little bit more information in depth with what each excursion would include. You know, what does it mean beyond Husky Heaven? It means you're out for probably an hour or so doing the Huskies, snowshoeing excursions, downhill skiing, etc. Just create this into the whatever it is that you want it to be. As I say, some things are included, and then the bigger excursions can be added on. Now, as I said, Teresa has put this video. It's just a couple of minutes long. I'm going to hope that it's going to play. It should do. But this is just brings it all to life for you. So let me just play this. Sit back, relax, and dream yourself of being there.
Have you ever wanted to meet Santa Claus and even take a husky sled ride? What about meeting Santa Claus helpers in the snow and maybe get to see the Northern Lights? Well, now you can on Santa's magical Lapland. The trip departs 7th of December 2021, 3 days. And what's included? Return flights from Bristol, airport transfers, accommodation, your thermal suits and your boots, private meeting with Santa, a sleigh ride search for Santa, igloo experience, a husky sled ride, and a reindeer sleigh ride with snow and fun activities with optional extras to book. And they're all escorted by myself, Teresa from Miles Morgan Travel. When you arrive on your first day, what can you expect? Well, after a short and comfortable transport to resort, before you get taken to your chosen hotel, you will be taken off to get kitted out with your thermal suits and boots, and you'll need them. After check-in, then it's fun time. So then it's time to just explore Santa's magical village, a winter wonderland. So you can play in the snow, make a snowman, go tobogganing, or even take a visit to one of the gift shops. Or just relax and get ready for your first Lapland dinner. Then it's going to be time just to relax for the exciting next day search for Santa, where the magic does really happen. Search for Santa on Santa's magical Lapland trip. Santa's helpers will pick you up for the ultimate Christmas adventure, including the husky sled ride. Reindeer sled ride, where you get to meet your own reindeer, and then your local savvy guide to take you on a wonderful ride to the picturesque woods. Santa's elves will then meet you at the igloo, hidden away in the woods. Once there, you can join in the fun and the games with the elves in this wonderland. You'll see the magnificent ice sculptures and enjoy a drink at his ice bar. With lots more to do and surprises to come, the only thing left to do is to go and find Santa Claus in his cabin and meet the big man. After the most exciting day ever, you'll get the next morning for more activities or the chance to visit the gift shops before you coach ride back to the airport to go home. Optional extras. So, why not try snowmobiling? I absolutely loved it. Fantastic way to go through the forest and just through the snow. Or hit the slopes and do some skiing. Or maybe get lucky and go on the Northern Lights adventure. It's search of the Northern Lights. I got to see them. It's amazing. So why not make Christmas magical? 2021 now on sale. So call Miles Morgan for more details.
Amazing, isn't it? I just think, oh, look, she's starting again. Can't get her off now. I think it just looks fantastic. That's brought it to life, and I can't help smiling and getting goosebumps when I see it. I'm impressed if that was you skiing down there, though, Teresa. You know, with your selfie stick. That was just brilliant. So Miles Morgan have got a group, which is the date that Teresa was promoting, which is the 7th of December. It's a 3-day, 2-night trip. Everything that I've described and Teresa described in the video is what's included. And we've got rooms on allocation, and it is an exclusive price for you. So anything for that specific group, and we can talk about, or Teresa can talk to you about that individually. But then obviously you've got Lapland as a whole destination as well. So there's lots of things to think about. I think in these COVID times, it's also really sort of important to make you aware that, you know, we have had as a company seasons where we haven't been able to operate. We couldn't, unfortunately, take people to Lapland last December, or December just gone. We've been unable to take people skiing this winter because of the various travel restrictions that are in place. But we are a fully protected tour operator. and Miles Morgan are a fully protected travel agent, and we work very, very closely together. We will not take you anywhere that it is not safe to do so. You are completely 100% protected. We have a promise. If we can't take you, you will either get your money back or we can transfer your dates. We've done that all the way through, and we will always continue to do that. So don't worry that you think, oh gosh, well, if I book now, what's going to happen if I can't travel? You'll be fine. You might not be able to travel. I mean, I hope to God you can by then. But if something happens and you can't go and we can't take you, then we will do the right thing and you will get a refund, or you will be able to transfer your date into another year. So I just wanted to make that point, that don't worry that if you book and something happens, you can't go, because we will support you every step of the way. And that is me. So I'm now going to stop sharing my screen. I'm going to take you back, and Teresa is going to take over. But I hope you found that useful. But I'll hand over to Teresa.
Thank you, Julie. I'm sure, like me now, everybody's probably really excited with listening to what Julie has explained, you know, about Lapland. And yeah, I was really, really lucky because I went last February, as Julie said, just before the lockdown. And the experience is just something else. It's kind of, for some people, it's a one-off kind of holiday. And everybody should experience it. That's all I can say. It's magical. It's just a winter wonderland. Just the cold, you know, you're wrapped up, you know, you go back and in the evening you can sit by the bar and they have the cozy fires. There's just so much to it. And I think, you know, the trip that I'm doing, there is so much included. So I think people need to sort of understand the value of what you're paying for, because there is so much included. And obviously you can see I'm like Mrs. Christmas. I absolutely love Christmas. Any of my friends, and there is a friend of mine on here tonight, you know, you come to my house at Christmas, yeah, and I am Mrs. Christmas. So I am so excited. I've waited over 50 years to see the big man, the real big man. So I can't wait. And can I just say as well, I have got adults coming on their own on this holiday, you know, on this trip. So it's not just about the children, okay? It's about all the big kids as well. So I'm sure some of you may be thinking, oh, you know, is it just for the kids? No, come on board and come away with us. As Julie explained as well, we have got a fixed price at the minute. So those are selling and we've only got a certain amount left. So what I would say after tonight, if you are really, really interested, I am going to be around tomorrow, so you will be able to get hold of me. But if you want a bit more information, you know, whether you want sort of the optional extras or just have a few other questions that you want to just sort of iron out before you decide to book. But all I will say is those spaces could go very quickly. So I would get on the phone tomorrow and give us a ring. But no, absolutely amazing. A couple of things I just want to say, must-haves to take that I completely forgot about when I went. One was sun cream, because you could still catch the sun. Hand warmers. Now, your mobile phones will stop working, as mine did. So the hand warmers are fantastic just to put with your mobile phone and it warms it up. Sunglasses, I didn't take mine, and the glow from the snow, you'll need them. And also you do need to drink plenty of water, because you do get very dehydrated out there. But anyway, I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to go. I'll have a countdown going on my phone now to meet the big man. But I don't know if anybody's got any questions for us, whether you want to put it in the chat or if you want to give us a wave and we can, you know, answer any questions now between me and Julie. Anybody got anything? No, check the chat.
Oh yeah, it's all in that. We've been doing such a good job, Teresa. Nobody's got any questions.
Can I ask a question?
You're allowed.
I've changed my hat. Yeah. My question is about costs while you're there. I quite like a pint of an evening. What will it cost me out there for a drink? Is it expensive while you're there, or is it reasonably priced? What should people budget for when they're there?
Over to you, Julie. I don't know what a pint of beer was over there. I'm not a beer drinker.
Well, I've taken a group of travel agents. Everything's expensive then. So I think that it's not the cheapest of places to drink, and certainly if you're drinking in the hotels, which majority of it would be, it's a little bit more expensive. But I think you're looking at about £4-ish for a pint of beer, maybe slightly more, maybe nearer a fiver. And I think if I remember rightly, it was about £7 or £8 for a gin and tonic. So not astronomical.
It's kind of London kind of prices,
More London
really.
prices.
Yeah.
London prices.
Yeah.
When you're there, though, there's very little. Yes, you're right. You want a bottle of wine or a glass of wine or beer with dinner or afterwards or whatever. But when you're there, there's not too much else to spend your money on. So when you're in the resort, other than the ice bar, you don't spend any money because everything else is included. And so it is just drinks, really. And then obviously, if you want to buy anything in the gift shops are not overly expensive. They're not tacky gift shops either. They're very nice things. So you don't mind spending a little bit of money on something that you're never going to get anywhere else because it's locally made. So, but again, not astronomical either.
We have got a question actually from Shirley Wallace. Shirley wanted to know, 3-year-old, would they be able to enjoy pretty much everything? Well, they would. The only thing that I know of, and I'm sure Julie can confirm this, is the snowmobiling. The children, I believe, have to be over 4 to be able to do that. But all the things that are included, not a problem at all. Julie, am I right in saying?
Yeah, you are absolutely right. With the snowmobile, and I think from 4 upwards, they can actually sit in a sledge. So they won't be able to go on the back of an actual adult snowmobile because they're too little. But there is another snowmobile that takes all the kids in like a big sledge. So they're great fun because they're just like parents are riding the snowmobiles. Everything else is okay for the kids. You know, there's a lot of things that are there that are really for little children, as well as things there for older. So it's something for everybody, no matter how big a kid you are, what age you are, there is something for everybody to do. The other thing to bear in mind, and I think it's from 3 upwards that we are okay, is the thermal suits. Anybody that's really tiny, because we don't recommend babies, for example, because it's too cold. We don't have thermal suits available at that size. So anybody smaller, then it's not ideal. But 3 upwards is generally okay. That would be the minimum age, really, to be fair.
Brilliant. Any other questions from anybody?
Oh, and sorry, just one other thing on the snowmobile. You need to take a driving licence, because there are times where when you're driving along, you might cross a road. So you've got to have a driving licence to be able to sit on the front. You don't if you're going to sit as a passenger, but if you're on the front and actually driving it, you've got to have a driving licence.
Yeah, what I was going to say, Julie, is I think everybody will want to see Miles's hat moving.
Yeah, I think
Miles.
so.
Hang on, let me see. Hang on, oh, no, the batteries are out. No, you're okay. Here you go.
Brilliant.
I can't believe I'm doing this in the middle of February, Teresa. Thank you very much.
That's quite all right. You're welcome.
Well, I think that's probably all the questions at the moment, isn't it?
Looks like it.
You've done well, Julie. You must have done well for no questions. Very good.
That would have all fallen asleep, one of the two.
You did say, you know, things are. How much are you sold out already for this coming year?
So for this coming year, we're sold out 80% already. I mean, you've got
80.
for your group, we're holding off a certain amount of seats and rooms on that flight. But outside of that, there's not too much else available. For December 22, we've gone on sale 8 months early than what we would normally. And we're already seeing that selling really, really well as well. So yeah, Lapland at the moment is just flying. It's what's keeping us alive at the minute. It's just, you know, it's just absolutely going crazy. It's one of those things that's on everybody's bucket list, but I think everybody's more and more aware of it. And particularly with the year we've had, people just want something nice to look forward to. And this is just pure magic. It's just pure magic. And we get a lot of generational families going. So we get a lot of grandparents, parents and kids going. And then we get, you know, others, like you said, just couples without children going. it's just mixed. It is for everybody, and it's just a fantastic. My niece and my brother live in Australia, and they were supposed to come over this Christmas, and we were going to go to Lapland, but obviously we couldn't because of 2 reasons. They couldn't get here, and Lapland was closed. But when they do come, we will go as a whole family, you know, and take it, because it's just fantastic. It's just brilliant. But yeah, I don't care how old you are, you cannot fail to be mesmerised by it. As trees.
I've done snowmobiling a couple of times. That's an amazing experience. Such great fun, brilliant fun.
Yeah, I've done it twice. I did it in Canada up a mountain, and obviously in Lapland, but that's just, you know, through the forest. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's just the best way to see it. Is just, yeah, unbelievable. So highly recommend anybody booking that as an extra, definitely. Yeah.
I trust you to book people's holidays, Teresa, but I'm not sure whether I trust you driving me on a skidoo.
No, you wouldn't want me to drive. I'm usually the passenger. I don't do the driving.
I'd have to draw the line at that.
I'm going to have to find someone when I'm over there to take me. I'll have to talk somebody into going, and then I can get on the back. So, yeah.
Well, I think the Huskies, again, they're just another incredible experience. You know, I'd never driven a Husky until I went last time, and it was just brilliant because the dogs are so excited and they're so well looked after. And you get, once you've had your Husky, you can't sort of pet them before because they're too excited, they want to go. But as soon as you've had your ride, you know, you get off and you can go and get to know your dogs that have pulled you. They'll tell you their names, they'll tell you their heritage, they'll tell you who their parents are, you know, and they absolutely love their animals. So that's just something really ultra special as well, you know, that you can do. It's just
again, can I say, Julie did mention that when the group of girls that I was with, somebody did fall off. It was hilarious. I mean, we were behind and we watched, and she was literally hanging on for dear life like this, and she had to let go. But the guides that we were with were fantastic, because obviously the girl that was in the sleigh was filming, and it's so funny because she's going, do you want to slow down a bit now? Do you want to put the brake on? Well, obviously she wasn't there, so she didn't realise. And then suddenly you hear, oh God, and she's realised this girl's gone. And but so she's sort of, the Huskies are just taking her. They're doing their job. They're going off. But the guides were really good because they just catch the dogs up and then stop them. So just out of safety, nobody got hurt. Everything was fine, but it was funny.
All I got, because I was back, I wasn't on that trip and I was back in the UK, but I was on the WhatsApp group and all I got was the video. And you can imagine, I've had to watch it 3 times going, she fell off.
It was funny, yeah. And to touch on the Northern Lights as well, we were really, really lucky because we'd sort of gone out every night and we've seen them on the last night, and it is just phenomenal. You can't explain it. If you've seen them, you really can't explain it. And we'd stood out for 2 hours and we're getting a bit cold and decided that we were going to call it a day. And literally we looked up, we thought, oh, hang on a minute, and it just creeped in, and it is just unbelievable. So I think anybody on my trip, if you can try and squeeze in maybe doing the snowmobiling, I would say the day that you get there, because I think you'll be a bit tired from the Search for Santa day, probably go and do that trip. Go and search for the Northern Lights. Just go and see them, because you'll never get another chance like that.
I've done that trip twice, and literally you go out on the snowmobiles and you're going through the forest and you're all in convoy. The guides are there. There's signals that you learn, whether to slow down, stop, whatever. And you're going in a convoy, and they stop every now and again, come back, make sure you're all okay. But you're just going through forests and everything, and eventually you come to a little hut and you get buried and you get stories told around an open fire. So even if you don't get to see the Northern Lights, because it is a natural phenomenon, we can't guarantee you will see the Northern Lights. However, even if you don't, just that whole experience of the snowmobile, the fire, the stories and everything else is just fantastic in itself. But again, like you were lucky, we arrived at the campfire, and just ahead of us were the Northern Lights. And luckily for us, one of the ladies, one of the guides, she knew how to use my phone, get good pictures from it, because there's all sorts of things like the slow-mo and the whatever, thing. So look it up before you go to how to get the best pictures. But sometimes you can't always see them by the naked eye, but you can see them on a camera.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a fantastic exhibit. So yeah,
there is one bit of good news. Anybody that goes on Teresa's group and doesn't see the Northern Lights can actually pop round to Teresa's house, where clearly by the look of her tonight, the Northern Lights are always on display.
that.
I nearly got my Christmas tree out. I nearly did. I was tempted.
I'm very disappointed that you didn't.
Well, I said to Miles and Julie earlier, I did have some mulled wine. I was going to go, go on that, but
you decided that was better for after.
Maybe later, yeah.
Oh dear.
Well, thank you everybody for joining. I hope you enjoyed it, and please get in touch with Teresa if you want any further details of the trip, either her trip or any trip to Lapland, because it's clearly a great place to go. And I'm now back up in my loft to put my hat away again until December, hopefully, unless I get another call from Teresa. Good night, everybody, and thank you.
Thank you. Bye, everyone. Bye. Bye.